It actually makes sense that this is Shark Week, because one of them just popped up in the White House.
Breaking news tonight, a new White House shakeup.
President Trump hired Anthony Scaramucci as White House communications director.
The president himself is always going to be the president. I was in the Oval Office with him earlier today, and we were talking about letting him be himself, letting him express his full identity. I think he's got some of the best political instincts in the world, and perhaps in history.
Whoa, 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 back up, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, did this new guy just basically say that Trump is not yet being himself? That's what he said? Not yet? Who watches Donald Trump and thinks to themselves, man, if only he could come out of his shell. Now, for some people, Scaramucci may seem like a strange choice for White House communications director, because other than appearing on Fox Business and in every Italian movie ever, he has no obvious communications experience. So the question is, what is it that Trump felt qualified Scaramucci for the job?
I love the president, but I love the president, and I'm very, very loyal to the president. He's the most competitive person I've ever met. Okay, I've seen this guy throw a dead spiral through a tire.
I love the guy.
I've seen him at Madison Square Garden with a top coat on. He's standing in the key, and he's hitting foul shots and swishing them, okay? He sinks 3-foot putts.
Did you notice that Scaramucci's examples of Trump were all kind of solitary and sad? Practicing foul shots in his coat, not playing with anyone, no, a 3-foot putt, throwing a football through a tire by himself. But the guy doesn't have friends. I mean, at the very least, why didn't he use his kids? Or was there something there as well? Eric, I need you. I want to throw a football in the backyard. Oh, wow, Dad, I'd love to. Go get me a tire. Like, throwing a football at a tire isn't impressive. It's something that they literally show impotent men doing in Levitra commercials.
Sometimes you need a little help staying in the game. Ask your doctor about new Levitra.
You see, the football is a metaphor for his penis. Bouncing off the vagina. So, Anthony Scaramucci is the new White House communications chief. And since he's going to be around for at least a month, we might as well get to know him in our latest installment of Profiles in Tremendousness.
I have the most dedicated people. I have the best people.
Meet Anthony Scaramucci, or as his friends call him, the Mooch. He grew up in a blue-collar family on Long Island, just a 3-foot putt away from Donald Trump's birthplace. The Mooch graduated from Harvard Law School, started a successful hedge fund. And just like everyone else working in the Trump administration, Scaramucci also spent 7 years working at Goldman Sachs. Which makes me think that maybe Trump's plan to crack down on Wall Street is just to move Wall Street into the White House. You guys can put your bags over there next to Russia's. Go on. So Scaramucci joined the White House on Friday, and he's already established what I hope will be his signature move, the Mooch Smooch.
And so I'll meet with him, but I don't want to waste his time and sit in the Oval Office unnecessarily. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn, that's smooth. That is smooth. It also seems like an overly familiar way to treat the press. I mean, but it was better than his original goodbye, which was just making out with each of them individually. It's just like, Peter Alexander, you taste like almonds. So we know that Scaramucci has the style, but his job is not just to make nice with the press. His job is to communicate the White House's message as clearly as possible. And this weekend, he got off to a running start.
Scaramucci muddled the message when he confirmed the president is exploring the, quote, complete power to pardon anyone swept up in the Russia investigation.
I'm in the Oval Office with the president last week. We're talking about that. He says he brought that up. He says, but he doesn't have to be pardoned. There's nobody around him that has to be pardoned.
Those comments directly contradict statements from the president's personal lawyer.
Pardons have not been discussed, and pardons are not on the table.
I love this White House so much. You know, most presidents would try to get their team all on the same page, but Trump has his team try every page. Just like, okay, you tell them we didn't talk about pardons. You tell them we only talked about pardons. You tell them I died during the meeting, and I'm gonna tweet that I've never met any of you guys, all right? Go. And that wasn't even the weekend's biggest mooch highlight. 2 days into his job, we found out that he couldn't even keep a secret for more than 5 seconds.
Somebody said to me yesterday, I won't tell you who, that if the Russians actually hacked this situation and spilled out those emails, you would have never seen it. You would have never had any evidence of them.
I don't know who this anonymous person is that said that if the Russians had actually done it, we wouldn't have been able to detect it. But it is the unanimous.
How about it was the president?
Wow. Scaramucci revealed his anonymous source just to try win an argument with Jake Tapper? Like, if I were Trump, I'd be a little worried about this right now. You don't want Mooch going out there like, oh, you think you know something about collusion with the Russians? Well, guess what, big shot? I watched the Pete tape, okay? Now who's the smart guy, huh? He was peeing through a tire on the other side of the room. It was like 3 feet away. So that was a slip-up. Those were slip-ups. But slip-ups aside, Scaramucci seems like a loyal soldier, although he wasn't always one. In fact, during the early stages of the presidential race, he was very open about what he really thought of Donald Trump.
I'll tell you who he's going to be president of. You can tell Donald I said this, the Queens County Bullies Association. You got to cut it out now and stop all this crazy rhetoric. It's anti-American. It's very, very divisive.
Is he going to be the alienator in chief when he's running the country? The whole insecurity and the bullying is not what you want in the American president.
Oh,
this is not the guy.
The politicians don't want to go at Trump because he's got a big mouth and he's afraid he's going to light him up on Fox News and all these other places. But I'm not a politician. Bring it.
All right, so why is he resonating?
You're an inherited money dude from Queens County. Bring it, Donald.
Bring it, Donald. Bring it, Donald. Bring me a job offer, you coward. Bring it to me and I will work for you so hard, you son of a bitch. Bring it, Donald. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Now, okay, now I will say this. In Scaramucci's defense, he said those things before he thought Trump would win, right? And not only has he since apologized to President Trump for speaking out against him, he atoned by offering Trump the ultimate sacrifice.
President Trump's new communications director deleting all his old tweets, including ones that opposed some of the president's positions on things like gun control, border walls, and climate change, announcing it all with a message. Full transparency, he writes. Past views evolved and shouldn't be a distraction.
I'm not sure how that works, but that's not full transparency. Full transparency, I'm deleting my old tweets? For normal people, full transparency would be keeping the tweets. It's the same way Donald Jr. Remember before he released his emails, right? Remember that incident? Just before the New York Times did it, he was like, full transparency, I told you first, full transparency. No, that's not full transparency. What if everyone defined transparency the Trump way? Like if a money launderer was like, full transparency, I'm shredding all my financial records. Shredding them all, you won't see a thing. Full transparency, you know it all, people. It's not the same thing. Now, some people may think it's odd for a man who believes in climate change, gun control, and abortion rights to go work for Donald Trump. But in a way, if you think about it, he's the perfect man for the job. Who could represent Donald Trump better than a guy willing to abandon all of his previous positions if it gets him into the White House? Who better to do the job? And you know, the truth is, once you stop focusing on their policies or beliefs, you start to see that Trump and Scaramucci have more in common than you think.
Very, very effective communicator.
Getting the simplest point.
There's a lot of people here.
This is a real play.
And don't let him win it. And he plays 6.
Congratulations! You've been randomly selected as a winner of free Daily Show episodes. Yes, you. To claim your prize, Just watch full episodes of The Daily Show for free anytime with the Comedy Central app or at thedailyshow.com. What a winner you are. So much winning.